fuck your later.
Alright, bro. Here's a long-awaited story,
Yo,
bro. You ready, Jay?
can I,
What's good?
I'm gonna say the story, bro, of what happened. Alright, bro. So what happened was, this is my mom's side. So she woke up, right? No, she wasn't awake. She was cleaning outside,
Mm-hmm.
and she saw there was some dudes working like on my neighbors on the
here you go,
roof,
bro. You need something
right?
anyways.
Shut the fuck up, Gus. Let me finish my story. And then so she went to the front, went to the dryer to get some clothes out the dryer. You feel me? And then she heard the dogs bark like crazy. And that's when she goes to the back again. And then she like broomed the patio and all that. She was gonna like just like wet it, so she like probably like spray it with water to like get the rest off. And then she said she like felt like she needed to use the restroom, so she got her phone, went inside. And that's when the helicopter started pulling up, and you hear the megaphones, right. And then that's when she comes into the room and wakes me up. And now this is what I went through. So boom, I wake up. And then all I hear is this helicopter outside. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then all I hear is them talk to the megaphone. Come out with your hands up. And I was like, oh shit. They got me. You feel me?
They got me.
And then that's when I sent a message to my group chat. And I said, guys, I think they got me. And then nobody responded till like 20 minutes later. But then that's when I sent that message to the group chat y'all are in.
Yo, can you explain a little faster, bro? I'm getting bored
Shut
over
up,
here.
Gus. And then that's when Gus, I gotta drag this shit for the video. And then that's when Gus said, yo, bro, you good? And I was like, yeah. And then I called him.
I didn't say that.
He ain't even answered, bro. You know, he don't want to take care of me. And then that's when I heard knocking on my door. My mom opens the window because it was the police, and then she's like, oh, what happened? And then the dude was telling us to come outside. And then my mom and them, alright, that was a quick little cutscene. Alright then, so boom. My mom opens the window, and we go outside. Oh no, we didn't go outside. You know, but that's me. And then she asked for a person that speaks Spanish. And then they came, and then they said if they have the permission to check our backyard. And then my mom was like, yeah, sure. And then that's when they showed him a picture of the dude. And then they asked, oh, have you seen this dude? My mom said no, because we have like some like, you know how the windows have like a screen? I'm talking to myself.
Yeah.
So then she couldn't see it good, and then my mom told them that they could also check like my sister's house, cause like she left her door unlocked. And then they said, "Are you sure?" And my mom just said, "Yeah." I kept saying, "Are you sure?" My mom said, "Yeah." She said, "Matter of fact, y'all could check under the bed and everything too." And then, so boom, they start checking our shit. They checked the front, and then they said if we had any dogs. We said yeah. We brought in we brought in fetal lice, right? You know how to really bring him in before he did some shit. And then that's when I sent that picture. I said, yo, that man Gus. And I sent the picture. I'm like, how to bring him in before he really did some shit. And then they were checking the back, and then they said, do we have any more dogs? My mom said yeah, but they're like, cause my backyard it's like kind of like a hill, and then we have like the bottom fenced off, and that's where the dogs are at. And my mom was like, yeah. And they're like, oh, can you bring him in? She's like, the thing is, they're like at the bottom, and they're like, what do you mean? They're like, she's like, oh, it's like, cause it's like a job. And then she's like, oh, and then my mom was like, I could bring them up if y'all want, but I need someone with me, like to take care of me. And they're like, oh no, we can do that. And she's like, all right. So we just ain't bring them up. And then so boom, they're in our backyard. I looked through the window. There's like fucking 5 motherfuckers there with the dog. With their dog. And my mom was like, oh, thank God we brought in this dog, or else that dog would have fucked up this one.
Yeah, that's trying.
Right? And then, so boom. For some reason, my mom opens the door to the back. The dude says, oh, stay inside to be safe. And then to my mom, I was like, oh, try to stay inside. And she's like, oh, all right. She closed the door. And then we go to her room. And all we hear because outside her window, that's where the bar's at. And then all we hear is something along the lines of "We got him" or "He's right here." And then that's all that ruffling started happening. That's when that dude got caught. That's when we heard that dog, and we heard that dog had the dog in him. You feel me? That shit was his body. And then after that, it was like I really stepped outside around the fade with the dude too. Like you feel me? Like I really like had to do some shit about it. You feel me? I fucking doing it in my backyard. Nah, I'm playing, bro. I'm a civilian, bro. I don't do shit, bro. I'm a pussy. And then so then boom. When that was happening, my mom told me to go into my sister's room because that's across the whole house. So I went, and then my sister was waking up, and I'm like, bro, some dude in my backyard. There's like some dude in our backyard. And then she's like, really? And I was like, yeah. And then she's like, oh, I thought that shit was a dream. And then she woke up. And then after that, we hear a knock at the front. And I'm like, yo, ma, they knocking, bro. And they open it. And they're like, oh yeah, bro, we caught him, bro. He was in your backyard. And then after that, I sent the message. I'm like, oh shit, he was in my backyard. And then there were like 6 officers in the front of my house. Like 6 to 8. They all had like fucking big ass ARs allegedly. And that's when my mama said, like, we let out fetal lice, you feel me? Like he was safe and sound, you feel me? And then that's when my mom was like, oh, I need to bring in the pug. But Pug is at my other sister's house because she was sleeping. So that I told her, like, so you going through the back or through the front? And she's like, through the front. And I was like, all right. And the thing is, the police were out there. I'm like, fuck. I really gotta like to let them know, like, oh, like she's gonna go get him. And I'm like, and that's what I said. I'm like, yo. And they're like, what happened? And I was like, oh, my mom's gonna go through my mom's gonna go through here and then go get like the dog that's in the other house. And then she's like, oh no, yeah, but it's safe. But that's what I sold though. I really should have gotten a sticker. I should have asked for a sticker, bro. I could have worn that shit on my chest when I went to the store later, bro. Let them know I really became a detective. And yeah, but we bought the pug. Let us know that dude was in our backyard and shit. And then I saved the day.
Yeah, so strong.
Facts. And that's how a wanted man broke into my backyard. No, that's horror. And then I was calling Gus to ask like if he could pull up and shit, but he ain't do shit, bro. I called Gus once, he ain't answer. He was talking about something. I'm taking a shit. Like, why you not stopping your shit to come slide?
Oh yeah.
You feel me?
Nigga, I was mid-wipe.
Yeah, you feel me? You really could have told your mom. You were like, yo, ma, Tony's house is gonna there's something happening over there, but I need to go with them. But nah, man.
You know, me vale.
But nah, you decided. Yo, Gus, bro, you think you could roll down your hill?
Nigga, what?
What, bro? Like, don't shit a hill. See, you living in the hills, bro. Start from the bottom, now we're here.